Hey guys,
Hey.
how you guys doing tonight?
Well, at least one of us has makeup on and looks halfway decent.
Rich, do you have makeup on?
Yes, I do.
I thought that was makeup.
No, I had a red carpet event I had to go to tonight. My property got nominated in the county because we have other nominations going on for the year, but this was for Rankin County Hometown Magazine. So all the Rankin County properties, my property got the so far in the top 5 for best of the best for 2022.
So was that what we were voting on?
The first voting was through the Mississippi apartment
Hey, Bob.
community, and that was actually all of central Mississippi from Vicksburg to Meridian, Starkville down to Hattiesburg, kind of where the stopping is. That was actually for my industry. This is actually for the county. So I have two different.
Let me fix this issue real quick.
Because of what Brad said.
Hey, Brad. Done.
Oh, gotta get that banner up. Hang on.
All right, so I need to know who this Facebook user is because I have
Who
a
is
feeling
Rich?
we got
I've
someone
never heard of it. Bull crap.
else.
I don't know who that is, but that's bull crap. I can see that right now.
I prefer it that way.
Yeah, I think
So we
somebody's
got
full of it.
Somebody in the house.
Well,
It's
this
gonna be
someone,
my new
whoever
best
this
friend
is,
unless it's Donald.
I was about to say, whoever this
Okay,
is, they're
so-
going right down to business.
That's
do
all
it.
right. So, okay. I had to do some research because I didn't know who you were. So,
So
I
the truth
saw
comes out. That was
demonologist.
you.
No, it wasn't me. If I put stuff on here, it would be 10 different things from 10 different channels. Okay, so
Yeah.
demonologist.
Yeah.
No,
That's
sir.
not all. I mean, there's a lot more to me than just being a demonologist.
But see, nobody gave us a bio.
Well, I was never asked for one, so that's really not my
Nope.
fault. But
Eileen.
yeah, she was my handler, and she did a
This is the
very,
thing.
very bad job. Mind you, I got the link to the show just I'd say like 20 minutes
the-
before I could share it with everyone else on my
Oh,
friends list. And I was like,
crap.
Yeah.
it's true. It's true. It's true. Why would I
Okay,
not?
whoever
Look,
this Facebook user is, keep it that way. We're good.
I bet whoever this Facebook user is going to say the same thing about me and Eileen.
You know what? Actually, why is my crap not on here? Just why?
Hey, Eileen, Brad's got a good comment for you.
It is. Okay, I gotta make Rich feel really, really important right now.
No, you don't. I'm good.
You, my thought process.
I love this. Okay, somebody, I hope screenshotted that right now. Eileen,
What?
you froze in one of those spaces.
Oh, it's the Rev.
Aw, hey. Yeah,
So
he really doesn't know who I am. He doesn't.
here was my thought. Who doesn't know who sweet and innocent Rich Valdes is?
Yeah. I had to
Obviously
look
not
his
me
Facebook
if
up
I said,
to figure out who he was.
if I said sweet and innocent, obviously I don't know who he is.
By the way, shout out to Rev. How are you doing? Yeah, and I'm going to be on his show Monday. So
Hey, Greg.
tune in for that.
We produce a show.
Ah, cool.
Brad, obviously us, because you did give us any info, Eileen.
Exactly.
Then you know what? He could tell you about me, and the fact that I had to sit next to him for about
Rick are.
No, that would be the same.
about a week and 3 days. Witness him falling asleep.
I thought Eileen was going to say she was. Wow, Joe. Oh, he means Rich.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to be in and out. Don't mind that. But I do want to know what you're a demonologist. And I saw all I could see was like for the church, and then it cut off.
Okay, I'm the reciting demonologist for the United States Old Catholic Church, which the Archbishop for it is Bishop James Long.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, I know him. Yeah, I
Okay.
remember James Long. I know he is.
Yeah, I know him well. Okay.
And I've been
you did
working with him
something.
for a while though. We're going on 12 years that we've been working together.
Okay, well, I haven't known him that long. I haven't been in the field that long, so yeah, no. Okay, and something about you were on a show, right?
Well, I've been on a haunting. I think it was season 8, and it's under Buried Secrets, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I remember that episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't stand the guy they picked to reenact me.
Does not look anything like you.
Absolutely nothing like me.
They do that sometimes on the show.
Oh,
I know, but I wonder if they do it to piss you off, or if they just, I don't know. I felt like I was stereotyped because they know that I'm Cuban, not Cuban born. I'm my parents are Cuban. I was born in Miami, Florida, but they picked this dude, and I saw the guy's bio. I started laughing. He had a full head of hair and everything, but he shaved his head, and he had the crown going, and he had a full-on beard. At that time, I didn't have the mustache. That's only because of the other show that I've been filming as of last year into this year, which will premiere soon. I can't say channel name or anything. I guess you guys know how that goes. But for the haunting one, the guy was he looked 5'4". I'm like almost 5'10", and that's number one. Number two, he looked nothing like me. He had the that thing, I think it's called a crown thing going, and a full-on beard, and he had this accent. And I swear to God, I don't know. Am I allowed to curse on here? I'm not sure.
yes, you're fine.
Go ahead.
I was like, who the fuck is this buzzard they picked to play me?
Yeah.
And when he spoke, he was like, this seems demonic to me. We better get going right now, or you're going to hell. I'm like, what the fuck was that shit?
What?
I'm like,
How was that?
No, this is wrong. This is wrong on
Anything
every
for money
level. Yeah, well, they just didn't. Whoever was doing the casting just did a very, very bad job. The story was told very. Hollywood, they're always going to throw in a lot of dramatics, a lot of things that really didn't happen that way. But here's the funny thing that I've noticed: they always leave out the best parts, and they think that what they're adding in is going to be more terrifying when the actual thing that happened was more terrifying. So,
well, see, and Rich, I've known you for 2 years now, because I met you on Beth's show.
Right.
And
I unplugged it.
I was sitting there, and
Brad's on.
I was actually, I think I might have been talking to this girl, talking about how much respect I had for you, because 2 years I had never known anything about that show. And it was not until back in September, early September, I was in this hotel this was like the worst hotel I've ever stayed in. And, I don't really stay in like the high ends, but I don't normally stay at the low. It had no microwave, no refrigerator, no hair dryer, nothing. So all I had literally was a television. And so I'm sitting there and I turn it on for background noise. And all of a sudden I'm watching this guy talk, and it said something. And Rich Valdes, I looked up and said, that's not Rich. And then next thing I know, you popped up on the screen. I was like, okay, well, that's Rich. But I mean, I didn't know anything about it for the 2 years I've known you. And that actually gave me a little bit more respect for you.
Well, I mean, I've never really seeked respect through TV or being on a show, and I mean it's a good accomplishment, I guess, but in the sense, to me at least, I could have, like, I say this, I could have died the day that I was first mentioned in a book, and I was like, holy crap, that's the best compliment, because I'm an avid book reader. I love reading books all the time, and here I am mentioned in a book, full name and everything, and I was like, and autographed by the author. He sent it to me, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And he says, yeah, we're actually selling a lot of books. Thank you so much for your help in this. And then I was mentioned in a second book. So the first one was Ghost Hunters of the South under the state of Florida, and it's by author Alan Brown. The second one was State by State. It's a big, thick white book, and it's under Louisiana, where when we were asked by the author one of the authors, contributing authors, I should say, to go and investigate the Ninth Ward, which was underwater after Hurricane Katrina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Kitty.
Hi, Tigger.
Because she wants to be part of the show.
I guess. Boy, is
No, and that's what I'm saying. You don't brag, and that actually, and I know that about you. You're not a bragger. You're not a showboater. You are just Rich Valdes. And
I'm
in my case,
I'm nothing like David Childers. No.
Can you imagine if he was on right now?
Oh, I'd welcome it. I think of him as a brother.
Guys, I got to take this quickly. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's just you and me, Eileen. What now?
Gosh. So, I mean, yeah, but seriously, I mean, I've got other names for you, and I see Jen's on. Hey, Jen. And I'm sure she's got much more names for you than I do. But
some that will never leave the bedroom, but I will leave it at that.
But no, I never knew that. I don't even think I ever told you I saw that episode. It was like, I respected the fact that you didn't try to make that who you are. It's just what you did.
Yeah, it's not a big deal for me. I mean, I was honored to have been asked. In fact, the person that actually hooked me up with that show, sorry, the cat's distracting me, was someone that I had a great deal of respect for. Unfortunately, I believe it was this year. It was this year, earlier this year, passed away. His name was Tim Yancey. And Tim Yancey, to me, mentored me in some areas. I knew a lot about the paranormal, but you can never really say everything. Learning from him and what he experienced, having interviewed the Lutzes, or the Lutzes, who the family that lasted 28 days in Amityville. He was one of the first few that was actually allowed to interview them and actually learn from them. So that being said, I was like, okay, well, when I started hanging out with him and learning more from him, Tim Yancey taught me a lot. Unfortunately, he died earlier this year, unexpectedly, and he had a rough 4 years there where his health was at risk. But the cancer was what did him in. And this cat just wants
What?
It's like I think Jen may have to come down here and
Or maybe you could pet it.
I have a thing about cats. I'll be honest with you. This one right here, unfortunately, is very, very sick. She sneezes, coughs. There's something wrong with her lungs. But she's got, some weird stuff going on right now. So I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to reach for the hand sanitizer and go all over myself because, it's weird. It really is.
Germophobia. Do you have germophobia?
I do actually. In fact, I think that's what has helped me for the past going on 3 years with COVID. I still wear a mask. I still practice 6 foot distancing. I still have hand sanitizer with me everywhere I go. And I don't give a flying rat's ass if people look at me with a mask. I'm like, I still ain't got COVID yet. And knock on wood, I'm planning on not getting it. So I'm doing good.
Oh, good. Now, I know I've asked you this question before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question. So this is just me and you. It's kind of hard to talk because I know you. So, you hear a lot of times, every time something bad goes into someone's house and all this, the first thing people scream is demon.
Yeah.
So you've been a demonologist for many years. How
35
many
to be exact.
How many true demons have you come across?
I've come across enough to know their patterns. If you're asking for an exact number,
No, just roughly compared to what you hear people scream compared to what is truly going on.
I would say roughly around 20, 24. And that's not even including the ones that have been infestations or attachments. Even in situations where people seem to have been affected by whatever may have been attached to them, and having to deal with them and go step by step with them to help them out. That being said, it's very, very difficult to keep yourself from emotionally getting attached, because oftentimes what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that when you are actually investigating a situation like this and you do find that there is some kind of demonic activity going on, it's very, very actually run through the steps with them of getting out of that trauma, and that's the most difficult part. And I think that's the reason that not too many people have heard of me, is because I don't go around saying, "Hey, how you doing, Rich Valdes, demonologist," underneath or anything like that. It's been by word of mouth, but I have worked with some very, very well-known individuals in the paranormal field. For example, I've worked with, for years, I was part of John Zaffis's team, Prisney. And
I would love to meet him. He's one of the ones that I think I would I don't know, I just love to just sit down and chat with him one day.
John is one of the most down-to-earth individuals you will ever meet. I'm happy to say I consider him a close friend. He's been a mentor to me many, many a times. In fact, the way I met him was back in, well, indirectly. His, at that time, right-hand man, Scott Morrow, got in contact with me because John Zaffis had been informed of a case in Florida. And Scott Morrow looked throughout the whole state of Florida, and he said, look, the only reputable team I could find at that time, the name of my team was National Paranormal Society. And he says, look, check the credentials if you like for Rich Valdes. He states that he is a demonologist. And then all of a sudden, it's unreal. You got a call from Scott, and then I'm like, hey, Scott, how you doing? And then he's like, hey, I got John I got Jay-Z on the phone. I'm like, say what? And I was like, you mean like Jay-Z, the rapper, or Jay-Z like John Zaffis? And he's like, hey, Richie, how you doing, buddy? And I'm like, holy crap. Here I am on the phone with John Zaffis. This is like back in 2000. Oh, I'd say 2006.
So,
and
geez.
I already had an great respect for the guy, and he's here giving me details as to what was allegedly going on with this lady. And he said, look, I'd appreciate it if you take this case on for us and look into it. I'm like, Sure thing. As we have had ever. And that being said, that was like all I can say is it affected a lot of my team, and I lost a lot of team members, not in the sense of death, but team members that left.
Mm-hmm.
And when you deal with something demonic, and that was demonic, all I'm going to say is the activity continued even after we managed to get clergy in there and get rid of it. But the individual, the host, was not ready for it to leave, and she willed it back. And when I said this to John was like, Richie, buddy, get the fuck out of there and get your team out of there. Pull out. I'm like,
Love the accent.
no problem. I did it. And ever since then, I think about a month later, he called me back up. And once again, I fainted with the phone like this. And he's like, hey, Richie, would you like to be, our contact point for my team in the state of Florida, for the whole state of Florida? I was like, yes. So I was like, okay. And from that point on, I think after 5 years, he dissolved the team. And that was around the time that he also started Haunted Collector, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So needless to say, I've worked with a lot of people, John Zaffis, Bishop James Long, Ched Coffee has called me in on cases. And it's an honor. It's been by word of mouth, but it's not like I'm one of those individuals that posted on my wall.
I will say, if you do talk to him one day, tell him you've got a friend in Mississippi that would love to chat with him one day. So just FYI.
Sure thing.
Where'd Adrian go?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Where on earth did she go? I don't know. Well, be careful. Well, you got to be careful though, because we got to check to see if John's not allergic to Eileen.
I'll tell you, the last time I had seen John, I believe was 2015 Scarefest, and at the time, I had the Paranormal Clergy booth up. Bishop Long was there, Kat Lang was there, and myself, and there was John just a few booths away from me, and he was like, hey, Richie, come here. I'm like,
Robert.
Yeah, all right. Are you hungry? I'm like, yeah. Hey, there's a Dairy Queen across the street. Here's some money. Go get me 2 cheeseburgers, some fries. Make sure they burn the burgers, and get me the largest fries and a Coke. And I'm like, okay, but you're giving me like $40. He's like, oh, get something for yourself. Bam. I'm like, all right. I went across the street to the Dairy Queen, got him the burgers and the fries. I got myself a burger and fries. And oh no, it wasn't a Coke. He wanted a shake.
So this was for John Zaffis?
Yeah.
I can't even picture that right now. I never would expect John would ask for all
John
that
is like, let me tell you right now, John would be that guy that you would want to just hang out with and shoot the shit with easily. He's very down to earth, and
he
is.
He seems that he is it. He is it.
I just saw him a few months ago at the Michigan Paracon, and what was kind of funny was when he was up on stage, they had like this big celebration for like celebrating like for 50 years of work in the paranormal field, and then when they had the after party, they brought him up on stage because they had that karaoke area. They brought him up stage, and they all sang like obviously a karaoke version of Ghostbusters, except it was John Zaffis they were singing, and he's just standing there so quietly.
You know who would surprise you? You know who would surprise you as to having a voice?
Yeah,
and it's someone that I have a great deal of respect for, and ironically I spoke about at the beginning of the show. Is Bishop James Long. He's got an incredible singing voice. And I heard it a few years back at an event called PIA, and it was down in Florida. and they had karaoke, or what I like to call karaoke.
No, I
And
like it.
let me tell you, he didn't scare anyone there. In fact, everyone was like this when he opened his mouth. It was like he should be a singer. He's got an incredible voice.
That's just I never see I've seen Bishop James Long, but I've seen him like as a speaker, but I've never seen him sing, of course. And yes, Jill, I do love karaoke too. I sing a lot of metal music, including Metallica. Yeah. You know, I got to say one other thing too for John Zaffis is, you know, the way how you describe him. I have to agree with you on that because it's already 10 years ago. We actually had him come out to my college that I was going to, because I was going to Harper Community College, and it was one of the few colleges to actually have paranormal classes. And we found out that John Zaffis was going to be speaking at one of these classes just for one night only. And man, I love how he sometimes has a good sense of humor, you know, whenever he's speaking, but also it's like he switches. He goes like from a sense of humor to like very serious. And that was my first time ever meeting him in person. So it was quite exciting to have him kind of as you want to put it, a part-time teacher for us.
I've never seen John do a presentation. I've seen Bishop because I work with him and I've had to set things up and everything. But I've heard great things about him. Andrea Perron is an incredible speaker.
Yes, she is.
And an incredible soul. I consider her another very dear friend of mine. In fact, a few years back, I told her, "Look, we're gonna hang out." Next thing you knew, not only were we hanging out, I stayed at her house for about 2 nights, and we had dinner and we hung out and we talked until the wee hours of the night. I brought her a gardenia because I had a dream shortly after her little sister died. And I saw her little sister, and her little sister was running through a field full of gardenias. So I called her up and I said, "What significance does this dream have to you?" And her sister's name, by the way, is April. And she said, "Oh my God, Rich, she was an Advent gardener and she loved gardenias." I was like, mind you, I had never met April. I knew of her, but we weren't friends on Facebook or anything like that. So I was like, wow, okay. I guess I'm bringing you gardenias. And I did. And in fact, to this very day, and that was, I'd say 5 years ago, that gardenia is still there and it's blooming. It's blooming.
Hey, Eileen, Jill has a request. Jill has a request for you.
No, heck no.
Hey, why not? You got enough in you to go for it.
I've only had 2 glasses of wine tonight.
Well, you need a third, girl.
Jill J, we can call it karaoke.
I will make a deal, Jill. If Rich brings his butt to Mississippi, I will sing on air, but everybody better cover your ears.
I like what Tom said earlier, saying Pickle Nick could be the same. Could be the name where you do death metal band. Just say.
Well, I was about to say, Nick and Jeremy missed my karaoke night.
No, I thought Jeremy was there that night.
No, he didn't go that night.
I do remember hearing though what happened in Kansas.
We were in Kansas at the temple. And we were doing Fear Fest, and we decided we were all going to go out drinking the night before. And what does this bar have but karaoke?
Of course it does.
Everybody was wanting everybody to sing, so I said, you know what? I'm not going to be the only idiot making a fool of myself. So I did a girls all sing, and then we were wanting to promote the event, so we had all the investigators there singing all at the same time, though, so no one could hear anybody.
Need a cup for barter. Well, I kind of wish I should have saw that happen, because I think I probably would have been laughing so hard if I saw you sing, Eileen.
Oh, I didn't even see that Donald was on.
I'd pay good
I
money
didn't see
for
him
it.
either. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wait, maybe Anita just tagged Donald just so he can get his attention so he can watch the show with us.
Yeah, I was
Drinking and
trying
singing
to get
badly
some of our
co-handed.
mutual friends, Rich. I was trying to get some of our mutual friends on here to give you a hard time.
Oh,
I
that's all
already
good.
know, Jeremy.
I always get a hard time one way or the other.
I'm not even.
You know what? Here, Tom makes a good point. You have to sing loud while singing badly, Eileen.
No, I sing like this so everyone can hear me.
I heard her just fine.
Yep. I'll tell you right now, I would just, for me to sing, I will just rock that night. I have an incredible voice. Oh, wait. You know what? Eileen Tom just said this. Oh, geez, she could sing Come On, Eileen.
You know,
That'd be perfect.
That's your song right there.
I used to actually, I really kind of hate that song after, what was it? Was it Chasing Amy or Mallrats that song was on? And I know, Rich, you got to know Chasing Amy or Mallrats. I can't remember which one it was on.
Someone says you sounded like Gollum.
Yeah, no, it was Come On, Eileen.
And after that song, after they talked about the song on that show, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't listen to it.
Oh my God, really?
Come On, Eileen is a good song, though.
Okay. On whichever show it was, whatever movie it was, Mallrats or Chasing Amy, it was on a totally different mindset.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Oh! You know what? I'm not touching that one. I think I know what you're going to say. I'm not touching it. Gollum sings the blues. John's asking. I hope Rich is this entertaining when he's on my show Monday nights.
Oh, we shall see.
I will.
In fact, I was just telling Eileen via PM, my computer's at 19%, possibly less right now because we lost the charger. And ironically,
Eileen.
and I'm going to touch on this because I had to get into my computer. It's in my briefcase, and I know I had the charger in there. I took it out. In fact, Jen saw me take it out. But ironically, we have what I believe to be a demonic case coming up this Saturday. And there's been a lot of shit going on as of late. And let me tell you something. I was like, why am I not surprised? And this always tends to happen. And I mean, like, the craziest, zaniest crap that could possibly happen before a case does. And this is one of them. I'm actually going to have to order a charger for my computer because I need it. And
Shut up, Tom.
I was actually just about to say, if we lose Rich, that's what I was about to hit on. If we lose him like that, that means, but he's agreed with me that he will get on his phone.
I'm just going to say this right now with Tom. Shut up, Tom. What's your worst case? I think he's asking, whoever that is, I think he's asking you, Rich.
My worst case, I can't mention that one because that may be featured.
Oh, it's Donald. Okay.
Well, I could give you worst case scenario case, and it was.
Sorry, I had to.
It was the one that I was talking about that John put me and my team on, and that one almost. And I'm not kidding when I say this. 2 members almost died from that case. One,
really?
Yes, one was actually he broke his ankle chasing someone that had jumped over a 12-foot fence, mind you, not touching it. And when he landed, he could see him in the dark because his eyes were glowing blue. And he just bolted. And he bolted after him, and he jumped over another 12-foot fence. And in the process, what he ended up doing, I'll do that as soon as if this goes out, because it looks like it will be going out. Sorry.
I was just
And
about to ask you, was that Jen that made that?
yeah,
That made,
I
okay.
figured that
Because even
was.
some of us caught it, and we're like, that had to be Jen.
My worst case was a skunked case of Samuel Adams.
Oh,
That was warm as hell.
Why don't you go charge it? But anyways, what happened was when he jumped over the fence and he landed, he broke his ankle. Another member was actually looking to cross over railroad tracks. The guardrails never came down. And that's when he noticed that there was an incoming train. If he had not sped up when he did, he almost would have gotten hit and killed.
Whoa.
So I'm telling you, when you're dealing with a demonic case, you know you're dealing with a demonic case. You know, anything and everything will happen to either, distract you, detour you, kill you, hurt you. It doesn't matter. So ever since we got in contact with this client, there's been a lot of weird shit going on. And I've learned over the years, you got to stay positive. You can't let them infiltrate your mind, because the moment you do, you're done for.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's what,
nuts.
I mean, we've talked about. I had a case get brought to me, and they said that someone came to them and told them that they had a demon. It was the very first thing they said.
Oh my
Right.
God. Tell me
And I
about
think I
it.
reached out to you about it, Rich.
Right.
But I was like, I don't know. Everything's in my gut. Everything just said, no, I think you just have a jerk. I mean, you just have a jerk because there are, and that's what people need to understand, though. There are demonic cases out there. However, if everyone tries to put anything that because it's happening bad as demonic, it's going to make those kind of get hidden a little bit, the really serious demonic ones.
Yep.
Versus just realizing sometimes you just have jerks. Like if Rich became a spirit, he would just be a jerk.
Well, see,
Am I right,
actually
Jen?
I guess, but since you said that, if I come back, I will be a jerk.
I gotta say really quick, because we're talking about that. I actually am dealing with someone like that literally right now. I mean, I don't know. Rich, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but obviously I've been friends with Eileen for the longest time. So I don't know if you've seen yourself, Eileen. There is this guy who I won't name who it is, although I will say it's a guy who's not even mutual friends with anybody that I know. And he basically came up to, he lives out in Tucson, Arizona. And he literally came up to me and said that, oh, you're not going to believe this. I have all this demonic stuff. And he claimed he had like a 40-minute videotape from 1998 claiming he said he had no other paranormal evidence that anyone ever has had. And he sent me well, he sent me snapshots of the supposed footage, which literally looks like it's coming from an iPhone. And I honestly, I got to be honest with you. This guy was just, he's still bothering me to this day. So I don't think, in my opinion, he was really dealing with a demonic case. Like you said, this was probably one of those searches. And he even kept commenting like on posts that I posted on Facebook for stuff that wasn't even paranormal related.
Eileen knows this. And ever since I got wind of the fact that the show will be airing, and it's not going to be like a one-timer. Okay. It's going to be like I'm part of the cast and everything. That's all I can say about that. But I told Eileen, I'm trimming down my friends list, and I was at 848. Now I'm in the low 600s. I've been eliminating so many people from my friends list simply and only because A, I don't know who the fuck they are. B,
you don't care who they are.
It's not that I don't care. It's like, why are you even in my business in the first place? And they don't even comment or have ever spoken to me. So I'm like, I've been trimming the fat,
Well,
and
I
eliminating.
made the cut.
well, this
I
guy
made
who's
the
like
cut.
bothering me, I'm not even friends with him on Facebook. I mean,
He
he's
just
tried
keeps
adding
spamming
me.
you.
He just keeps spamming me. And there was even one occasion, like for one of my non-related posts. Like, for example, I posted something like, involving Halloween from last week. And he actually commented. This is where he really started getting me think this guy is going nuts. He's like saying, well, he was one of those guys who claimed that Halloween was a satanic holiday and that I shouldn't be celebrating it. And it drives the demonic entities crazy. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this guy. Because this guy is just like nuts.
There's so much, and with all due respect, there is no historical fact whatsoever to prove what that individual is saying as truth.
Absolutely.
None.
So this guy, see, honestly, if I'm just going to say this now, if this guy somehow finds this show or something, I'm just going to have to private message you guys. And Tom, and I see Tom asking this, and before you believe it, Tom, no, it wasn't Dom that was causing these problems. It was some other guy.
This is for Donald Martin.
What? Oh, this? About time for me to purchase. What a nice message for you.
Y'all didn't catch, Rich, I just sang, so there you go. Y'all didn't even catch it. Huh.
I know you were, Tom.
Is Jill Jade okay? I don't know. She keeps saying, I will just stop talking. I don't know if it's something we said that offended her or we're not paying attention.
Up here, right above, she said that she just picked up in her head, I'll eat your souls. And when you mentioned the guy with the train incident, I think that's what she's talking about.
Ultimately, in the end, I think there's a lot that has changed, not only in the paranormal field, but I think in this country, which has changed the paranormal field. A lot of people have brought in way too much of their personal BS, and it's mixed in with the paranormal. I've eliminated so many people that I considered colleagues, almost kind of sort of friends. One I met once, the other one I never met, and I got tired of their bickering back and forth on my page that I got rid of those two. I'm the better filmmaker. No, I'm the better filmmaker. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Shut the fuck up already. So I basically just got rid of them. It's so petty and stupid. And it's all over politics and this and that and whatnot.
See,
hi, Jenny.
Good to see you, Jenny. No, I was just going to say, I don't know if, well, again, Rich, I know you're not friends on Facebook. I just made just a few days ago this really powerful message on my post. And this got that same guy later bothered me again. But
surprise.
Yeah, I ignored it. But the point about this post was it was just supposed to be like a positive message about, kind of like the paranormal is not about getting famous or, I mean, there are some certain levels of degree, like if you actually accomplish something or if you worked on something putting together, like to have your name out, that's one thing. But if you're just jumping in just to get famous and claim you got better evidence than anybody else or, whatever the case is, it's just, there's just so much competition. So it's not that it's happened to me personally. I've seen it so much that I was trying to, as I would probably put it, like, whether you want to believe it or not, it was one of those kind of para-unity messages that I was putting together just to kind of help, whether they believe it or not, just kind of forget everybody's differences and work together and not compete.
Para-unity doesn't exist. I'm sorry. I mean, and I'm one to say that because, hey, I'm in the paranormal and I deal with a lot of people that say the paranormal doesn't exist. I can tell you right now, para-unity doesn't exist.
Tom.
I think it's para-tolerance is more than anything else. It's choosing to work with people that have some dignity and actually treat people with respect and continue to do so. It's the ones that fall off that wagon that you end up going, well, I'm still the same. It's this person that's, decided to go woo. And
that's right,
and
Anita.
That's when I get off the crazy train. No offense to Ozzy Osbourne, love him to death, but I just refuse to play those games. So any whiff of drama, I'm like, turn about face and I'm walking, I'm out of there.
So
I'm being warned, by the way, battery is running low, so I'm going to switch to the phone, by the way.
gotcha.
Okay.
I didn't know if you
Okay.
got my message yet.
I was gonna
Yeah, I
say
just
how
got
much battery you have left.
states 10%.
Nina was
So
asking earlier, can he put on a trickle charge from another PC?
I don't think so. The other PC's messed up. This one's brand new, and it's just I know it'll surface when I least expect it, but I'm gonna have to either go to Best Buy and get a plug for it because I'm gonna need it for Monday for the Revs show. But in the meantime, let me make the switch
Go
real
ahead and
fast.
switch over, Jen. Go get him his charger since you
Oh
did it.
no, I was gonna say, Eileen, you go get a new charger.
I need. Well, I can't get a charger now because I lost mine. We just lost it today. And I
Yep,
was
go get
working,
it. Go get it, Eileen.
so I'm gonna have to use the phone.
Go ahead,
real
switch
quick.
over.
All right,
switch
go right
over.
ahead.
All right. Let me see.
It's called Leave Studio.
So where the hell happened to Adrian?
I don't know what happened to Adrian, but Jen, if you're still on, I know you took his charger. Come on now, fess up. But
Confess.
I don't know. Message Adrian and see where she went.
Trade you my mimic stalker. What the hell are you talking about, Anita? I love that face, Eileen. What the hell's? I have no idea what Anita's talking about.
Faces. Heck, I don't even know which one it is.
See, I have to deal with the paranormal community for a while. I have found that it is riddled with drama, present company excluded. It's very clicky, just like people were in high school. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why because when I was that kid in high school that I hung out with the nerds, the preps, the
Eileen crew.
Yeah, I mean, it was just if you were cool, you were cool. If you became a jerk that day, I walked away.
Eileen has some plugs she borrowed for the walrus.
Look, I don't even have to be looking, and I know exactly who that is.
I know that's Donald right there.
That is Donald.
Thanks for where you at, lady. See, everybody's talking about your face, Eileen. See, even Jill said that too. Oh, here he is. All right, we see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Unfortunately.
Cool.
The famous porch where you do all your live videos.
I know not what you
So
speak
right,
of.
Nikki.
So I have a question for you. I've never asked you, Rich.
Sure.
All our conversations, I've never asked you this.
I'm scared to death to know what this question is, Eileen.
How were you drawn to become a demonologist?
Okay.
I know everybody else has asked you. I've never asked you.
I've always stated this, and I will always state this till the day I die. It's not being drawn; it's a calling. Where people make their mistake with demonology is they think it's just something that you can study and become one. I learned the hard way that's not how it works. You actually do have to go through extensive studying with a priest, preferably an exorcist, and or a bishop, and someone that is well versed when it comes to demonology. You need to know that you have to study all texts on all demons, not only biblical, but throughout every religion, every faith, every mythology, every legend that's ever been out there. You need to be aware of these things. And if you don't have a calling for it, meaning I had an early inclination for it as early as the age of 11. I just automatically had an interest in angels, demons, and the how they fell and the battle that exists between the two. But when I started learning, I started learning intently with Pastor Frank Marzullo. And Pastor Frank Marzullo taught me for 2 years until he unfortunately passed away. Then I went for a few years without being trained, but I kept my training going on my own. And then I met another pastor, Leo, who actually taught me everything that I knew and actually made me an official religious demonologist, non-denominational. So in religious demonology, there's a huge difference when it comes to what I am now observed as when it comes to the United States Old Catholic Church before I even go into a case. In fact, earlier this week, I had to text Bishop James Long and let him know, listen, I have a case coming up Saturday. It's believed to be demonic. I have to ask for his blessing and the blessing of the church and keep me in prayer before, during, and after. And if he grants it to me, great. If he doesn't, there's a reason for it. But he's never denied me that. He trusts me completely and explicitly when it comes to that. So it's a different kind of set of rules that I have to play by now through the United States Old Catholic Church. But um, when I was a religious demonologist, I was taught how to cast out demons. The only difference is I was never taught the minor rite or solemn rite of exorcism, because they don't go by that. They go by prayer. They go by, actually laying on of hands. It's more of a deliverance than it is an exorcism. Exorcism is a word that is specifically just reserved for the Catholic Church. When I switched over to the United States Old Catholic Church, I was considered to be laity. Laity is we work with the church, but we're not considered clergy. But I actually have one of the most dangerous jobs, because I'm the first one to go in and do the testing to see if there is demonic activity. So I'm going to be the first one to get hit. And then I have to write a report and inform the presiding bishop or the priest, whoever I'm working with at that time, that I do believe there is something demonic going on here. But there's a process. So to answer your question, Eileen, it's a calling. And for those that just go ahead and out of the blue, just out of their ass say, I'm a demonologist, and they got no church backing them up, they have no credentials whatsoever, to them, those are the ones that you need to stay away from. The ones that can actually back up their claims are the ones that you should run to.
See, I keep saying over and over that, I'm ready for the next step in
No, you're not.
paranormal, but I don't want to ever come across a demon. So I know for a fact I would never want to be in your shoes. But
Oh,
No, and I don't want her to either. Let me tell you something. This is not even considered paranormal. The shows have unfortunately given theology a spotlight. And now you look in just about every paranormal team out there, and there's a residential demonologist part of the
yep.
team. And I'm like, okay, so explain to me, how'd you become a demonologist? I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, what formal training do you have? Did you get trained by a priest? Did you get trained by the church? Did you get trained by anyone with credentials? And they're like, no, I just read a book. I'm like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
that's good enough nowadays, right? But I actually have a certification from an actual church that states that I am who I say I am, and I can actually back it up by having them call the church. That's the difference.
Really quickly, Rich, looks like Jeremy's giving you an offering here. He'd like to have you listed in the Things Family Exorcist Division.
Who?
Jeremy.
The exorcist. I can't read that because I don't even have my eyes on, because you guys are small now.
So what he's saying is, based on what I'm hearing, I'd like to have Rich listed in the Things Family Exorcist Division.
Okay. I've never heard of it.
Jeremy, you're gonna have to talk to him.
Yeah, you'll have to PM me and talk to me, because honestly, I just don't go joining any group, and I say that with all due respect. I don't know who Jeremy is.
Jeremy's he's the one who runs the Things Network. It's a brand new division, but hang on a second. I got to go back to this for a second.
I'll read it to you, Rick.
Yeah, you got to read this one.
This is Donald. He said, closest thing Eileen and myself have come in contact with a demon was when we woke up my wife at the hotel room at 6 a.m. laughing out loud. So it was Rebecca and Donald were in one bed, and I was in the other, one hotel room.
Oh,
now,
God.
I got to preface this first, and a lot of people heard this last week. So I don't think I ever told you this story. So we were at OSTA, And we were doing a 2-night event there. And the first night, I'm not gonna go through the whole story, but no one knew it and kept smelling something stinky. I found out later Donald had farted, and it lasted like 2-3 hours. The smell, and I am not exaggerating.
Donald has no chill, as Jill said.
People were.
I call
sniffing it
that
like
there's a name for that. It's called a lingering demon. And if it's silent but deadly, you're dead.
someone was sniffing it like it was cocaine. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe it was a new. Maybe it was a new
Hell was
discovered
going
coke. Maybe it was a new discovered cocaine.
We went back to the hotel that night. Donald informs us that the smell came from him. Okay. So we go to sleep. Me and Donald wake up the next morning, and you get those little coffee pots at the hotel with the like 2 bags and maybe 1 sugar, 1 cream, whatever. So we decided we were not going to take Rebecca's coffee because Rebecca required coffee in the morning. So we quietly put our shoes on and trying to walk out the door. You hear Rebecca, and he is not lying. It's like a demon like came out of her. She probably called us every name in the book. And
see, now I can actually see.
Okay. And if she tells you the story now, though, instead of it being,
I agree with Jill. And it's just not for women.
Right on that.
Let me tell you, it's just not women. It's men too.
That story Eileen tells us, gag you.
It brings out the worst in us. If I wake up in the morning and there's no coffee, we got problems.
Big problems.
Well,
I don't drink coffee. I don't
Here
drink
we're trying to be nice and go get her a cup of coffee to have when she woke up, everything. But and then now if she tells the story, it was 4 a.m. I have to go, hold on, lady. The hotels don't start serving breakfast at 4 a.m. So it couldn't be. Oh, it was. It was 4 a.m.
You should have just went to Denny's.
That is the main staple diet of any paranormal investigator.
Denny's.
And it's Denny's or Waffle House. And I'm telling you right now, Waffle Houses have saved the lives of many people that I have gone on investigations with. I'm telling you straight up.
Rich, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you on something.
I hope you're honest with me.
Yeah, I have never been to a Waffle House.
What?
In my life. Yeah,
you're fired.
Right?
You're fired. You're fired. Nah.
See, here's the thing. I mean,
where do you live?
Okay.
Where exactly? Where do you live?
I live in I'm in Chicago, Illinois, so we don't really have Waffle Houses. I mean, obviously, you got to get out of to the rural farm areas to find it. And I have gone through so many trips, and never once did we ever stop at a Waffle House.
Denny's is a close second.
No,
it is. I've been to Denny's.
Denny's here is at the Flying J or the what is it now? Whatever it is, is it still Flying J? I don't remember. But, and it gave me food poisoning. So I cannot eat at Denny's anymore.
Really?
So you go to the Waffle House?
Oh,
let me tell you, the Waffle House is really good.
Is one of those places. Forget just paranormal. If you've been drinking, go to Waffle House.
So many hangover early morning breakfasts at the Waffle House.
I wouldn't know. I've never been a drinker, but yes, I've heard that it's actually a good spot for people that are kind of sober.
If you go at 2 a.m., chances are everyone's trying to come up of being drunk.
See, I can tell you right now, I think the closest Waffle House we have at all in the city of Chicago, it's got to be well over 50 miles out. Because
wow,
if they ever plan to, I have yet to have ever seen one Waffle House built in our city.
See, down here they're at and I think over in Florida too, Rich, they're literally at every exit.
Yeah,
they are
just about. Yeah,
just love how everyone's shocked.
It's a southern thing.
I just love how southern thing. Well, we have them up here too. We just don't have them in the city.
Well, actually, I'm trying to think. Is there a Waffle House in downtown Miami? And I don't think there is.
I was gonna say I thought Waffle House was mostly mostly a real wet restaurant. Like you wouldn't see it
Yeah,
in a lot of the downtown
it,
areas.
it started off as a truck stop for all the truckers, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden they started noticing regular people going in there for their breakfast because the truckers are like, "Oh my
Jeremy.
God, their breakfast is incredible," and it was, and they become famous because of that,
It
word of
just
mouth.
went up in price, but you could get an all-star breakfast, which was a waffle, 2 eggs, either sausage or bacon, hash browns, which I get mine scattered, smothered, covered. And I always add, instead of substituting hash browns for grits, I add grits to it. It was $5.95.
Ooh, you like grits, girl? That's like water and styrofoam.
Hey,
What the hell?
You know what we're gonna have to
I
do,
used
and
to
I'm
like
gonna tell
grits.
this. I'm telling this to Jeremy too. Here's what we're gonna have to do at some point next year. If we plan on going back to Salina, Kansas, or somewhere else, we're all gonna have to get together. And the first thing before we do anything, whether it's a con or an investigation, is go to a Waffle House.
No. You don't want that. You don't want that because by the time you finish eating at the Waffle House, hibernation takes over.
Oh, that's
You
right.
need to crash. Oh no, you want to leave that for last.
And
Yeah.
Robert. Yeah, I know.
Every now and then you gotta get them capped too.
Wait, Robert, he said nearest to
nearest to
me
him
is
is an
18-hour flight.
He
Where
lives
the
in
heck are you, Robert?
he lives in Australia,
Oh, well,
down under.
there you go. I
Speaking
understand.
of which, really quickly, two things. Eileen, I just heard back from Adrian. I asked if she was coming back on soon. She can't get the reverb to quit. It's Zach's new computer, so he's working on it. She also said it's the second week in a row. She thought it was a fluke, but it happened again. And there was someone asking Eileen. I know you wanted me to ask Rich. Rich, do you know Nikki Cameron? You know who
No.
that is? Okay,
No.
I don't know why you asked me to ask Rich then, Eileen.
No, I said if it was okay.
Oh yeah, she wanted to come on. I guess she had a few questions. You mind if I bring her on?
I don't mind.
Okay. I'll send her the link then. She was from Australia, actually. Your rumps down, and I'll take you to one. What the hell is that
Rick,
supposed
I was
to mean?
very upset on your way back up north. You did not stop by Mississippi. I'm
Sweetheart,
sorry.
it's let's see, you would have been west of me, and I had to go straight up. So I had to take the turnpike 75 straight up, and not I-75, 75, which is in the middle. And it would have taken me another day, just to get back on. I actually started calculating. So
Jen, what you've got to do is you get to leave Rich at home and you get to come down and spend the time with me.
Well, no, she said she's going down to Australia to build a Waffle House.
That ain't right, man. No Waffle House in Australia. I mean, that's, I don't know.
You know what we're gonna have to do from that point on, right? We're gonna have to send Jen from this point on to build a Waffle House for every other country. Australia is just number one. She's got 200 countries left to go.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I will give Jen credit on something. So Beth Allen and I were throwing around the idea of starting the Paranormal Against Missing and Exploited Children. And then Jen had posted Amber Alert. And I said, oh my gosh, we've got to start this now. Because we were working on it, but we're like, because Beth wasn't quite ready to get started. But it was her Amber Alert that she had reposted that made me go, nope, we got to start this now. So I have to give Jen credit for making us get the ball rolling on that.
Yeah, we were, and I know exactly the situation you're talking about. And Beth was in our prayers the whole time.
So, and I was supposed to meet Rich and Jen, and the stars did not align, so it wasn't our time to meet yet. So we just have to deal with Facebook.
Yeah, unfortunately, that event was in June, and I had gotten a call from I don't even want to mention her name, but Madi, not related stepsister to me or my father, in I believe it was May. Yeah, it was May. and she told me it was an emergency surgery for my dad. He was 89 years old. He had a blockage in his intestine, lower intestine. So I ended up having to drive 4 days back to Miami to be by my father's side. Unfortunately, he passed away August 2nd of last year, and just the day before his birthday. And that was a very hard time in my life. And then it even got harder because I ended up in the hospital. Eileen knows that. And that was, let me tell you, between filming and being in the hospital, almost dying and going from 220 pounds to 156, it's not a good thing. And it was just something that was unforeseen. But it was an attempt, in my opinion, to keep me out of what I was supposed to be doing in the first place, which led to the show.
That was a heck of a lot more important, though. But
Oh man.
now, Anita, if you're talking about the actual Facebook page that's Paranormal Against Missing Exploited Children, that is the page that Beth and I started a little over a year ago.
Oh my God. Let's talk about Waffle Houses. This is
Hey,
not
there's
gonna
Bob.
end.
Bob, my brother
Good to
from
see you,
another
Bob.
mother.
Yeah,
I
I know
wonder
Bob.
if DoorDash will take Nick some Waffle House all the way up there.
I wonder that too. That's what I'm gonna have to find that out for myself.
I'm telling you, it's well worth it. Just remember, if you are ordering the hash browns, smothered, scattered, and I'm trying to remember. Is it smothered, scattered, and something else? They put everything in there.
I know that
Hey, Nikki.
covered is cheese,
Hello.
capped is mushrooms. I think
And then the gravy,
you got diced, you got chunk. I think
diced
chunk
onion,
is ham, if I'm not mistaken.
diced
Me neither.
onion, and then the gravy.
Yeah.
Hi, Anita.
I've had my share of Waffle House days. There's one a mile and a half down the road.
Oh my God, Jill. Well, Nick, when I see y'all, we will investigate the karaoke that Waffle House did.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that. I just realized I'll get rid of the scrolling banner because I don't think we need it anymore. Thanks, Jeremy. Everyone needs to come here to the West and we'll have a paranormal Waffle House party.
Oh man, they'll love us. They'll love us.
It
I'll
would make
bring
some
you
good
syrup.
money off of it.
Party at Rich's. Party
Yeah,
at Rich's.
have at. I don't care. There's a Waffle House that's about 20 minutes away from mine. So
See, I've got the closest one. Literally, I pass it on my way to work. It is we actually, because my son wanted to walk there, we actually measured it as 1.5 miles.
wow.
And then there's another one, probably 2 miles from there. Another one, probably another mile from there.
A Waffle House convention.
How the heck did we get so trained off the rails so much?
Don't look at me. I was the one who brought it up.
I like the name Butter Chicken. That is awesome.
Thank you.
The only Waffle House I can remember eating was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wow.
I've never had waffles.
You've
You've never had a waffle?
Really?
Please tell me you've at least had pancakes. No pancakes? That's paranormal.
Okay, I think I got hold up.
Yeah.
I've had
Same
pancakes.
here.
but not waffles.
Lord have
Okay, so
mercy.
you've had pancakes, but not waffles. Okay.
But
You've been denied. So what should we call you? Butter chicken?
Yep.
All right. So butter chicken,
Yeah,
why
if you
have
want.
you not had a waffle?
people know me as butter chicken. So. Never had a waffle. Nope.
So
You poor child.
Have you at least
Yes,
had
I
waffle
am a poor
fries?
child. I've never had waffles.
Have you ever had waffle fries?
No.
Rich.
Okay, so
Don't get it
Joe's
here
been
in
asking
Australia.
then. So what's for breakfast for Aussies?
So if you
Bacon and
order
eggs.
Is
That's
your
good.
outlets the same as American outlets? Like
That's
is your
good.
outlets the same as American outlets? Like
No.
your plug-ins? You need to get you a converter. My son travels across the world, so
That's
help.
it, Australia. Here I come
Get
with
you a
Waffle
converter
House.
and go to
True.
Amazon and buy a waffle maker, and we will teach you how to make waffles.
All right. Next time.
I'm sure Amazon delivers.
Waffle making.
You know who could really help you out with that, Nikki, is Adrian,
Hey,
because
Jill.
she's going to be doing a paranormal cooking show soon.
Oh no, that's going to be interesting.
Oh Lord.
I'm
Oh
not
my-
cooking right now. The ghost is. You'll be there waiting for a long time.
I've often wondered, and I've said this before, spirits can move
Hey, Jill.
things. They can do all this stuff. Why can't they clean up? Grab a darn
I
broom
know,
and
be great.
clean.
I'd have to agree with her, but that would mean they'd also have to make a mess.
Well, they
Brad's
do
back.
when they throw things.
True. Brad.
So what's your question?
Me.
Can't we-
Yes, you.
Yeah, you,
Sorry, I'm just
Miss
checking
Bu-
comments.
Miss Butter
Sorry,
Chicken.
I'm reading the messages too. I'm like, what?
It's distracting, isn't it? I should take my glasses off because that's all I can read. But
I thought you couldn't read it because it was so
Yes,
small for
I've
you.
never had a waffle.
yeah, that's why I only need my glasses for reading. So that's it.
But you look so cute. One
Oh.
pinch your cheeks.
Brad, Adrian's having problems with the computer, but she's going to try to come back on as soon as she can. Zach's working on it.
All right.
Great.
So there, I believe there was a question or
Yeah, did you-
questions plural. I'm not sure.
I think, Nikki, did you have any questions for Rich?
No, I'm all good.
Oh, because you messaged
good.
me. I thought it was that you had a question or something that you wanted to ask. So.
No, all good. Why did you get into the paranormal? There we go.
The reason I got into the paranormal is when I was 15 years old, I had what I didn't know then was an OBE, and it was with my aunt who's since passed, and she had Down syndrome,
Yep.
and she also suffered from grand mal epileptic seizures. And I dreamt that I was in her bed, and when I got up, I noticed I was very small. And I got to her doorway and I remember blacking out and fainting. That's when I woke up. And what happened was when I woke up to the pounding on the door of my mother saying, Rich, you got to wake up. Ileana, my aunt, has had 13 epileptic seizures. I need to get going because the ambulance is on the way.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't move my
Oh,
body. I was stuck. I was aware, but I couldn't move one single anything on my body. It took me a good, I'd wager to say 8 minutes before I could finally move. And when I finally did, and I ran because they only lived about 5 blocks from where I lived, I ran over there. And the very first thing I did was run past the ambulance to the house, run past my grandfather who was crying. And I went right to her room where I left her in what I thought was a dream, right at the doorway. She took one look at me and smacked me, almost as if to say, how dare you? You were inside my body. And
wow.
when I explained this to my very evangelical family of what had happened, it wasn't immediately, it was like maybe a day later. They said, oh no, that was all demonic. I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
how is that demonic? I was being warned by her. It was like she was reaching out to me somehow. And they were like, no, don't pay any attention to that. That was demonic. Well, me being the person that I am, I immediately started going to the library, which happened to be 3 blocks from where I lived. And I started studying anything paranormal. The first book I picked up, actually the first 2 books I picked up was The Ghost Hunter, which was by Hans Holzer. And then the second one was ESP, Extrasensory Perception. And in that book is where I found the term OBE, out of body experience. And it actually defined everything I had gone through what I considered to be a dream. And it wasn't. I was having an out of body experience. And that's what got me interested into the paranormal. So I started studying on everything paranormal there. And my first investigation was at a Biltmore Hotel, which was closed up at the time back in 1987. I broke in and I went in with a tape recorder. I don't know if y'all are not old enough to know what that is.
I have one.
I have
Ah,
no
okay.
clue. I have
So-
I
no
may be
clue
young,
what
but
the
I may
is.
be young, but I do have one.
No clue.
Tape recorder with
Me
a
too.
tape, lead tape. And I also brought in a Polaroid camera. Anyone
What
know
is a
what that is?
Polaroid camera?
A Polaroid. Oh, come on, Eileen. I don't even know what that is.
All right.
What do you
And-
mean you don't know?
I got no evidence whatsoever. Nothing.
Brad.
But my interest and passion in it was so strong that I never left it. I just kept investigating. And then when it came to my studying for demonology, that started when I was 18. So I was into the paranormal long before I got into demonology, and I realized there was a calling. I hope that
Wow,
answers
thank you
your
for sharing.
question.
Looks
Thank you
like
for
we got
sharing that.
another question here from Brad. Besides being a demonologist, do you also do investigations?
Yes. I actually have my own team in South Florida called Paranormal Consulting Agency, and we've been doing cases forever. I first started off with Florida Ghost Team, and Sean Jones was the founder of that team, and that was in 2003. But I had already been investigating by myself. The thing is that around 2003 is when the I would say the paranormal shows started getting interesting,
Yep.
and I believe Ghost Hunters got started then. And I figured, I want to join and see what it's like to work with a team. So I offered my close friend at that time, and still to this day, Olga, an opportunity to join a team. And she was like, let's do it. And we stayed with them for, let's see, 3 years, give or take, and good experiences. But we felt that we needed to move on and start our own team. And we started National Paranormal Society, which later on turned into Paranormal Consulting Agency.
Awesome.
Now,
Awesome.
you do a lot of other
Oh.
things in the paranormal, don't you? What is it else that you have? You have something else. What is that? It's
Well-
on the tip of my tongue. I can't say it.
I will be starting Greetings from Beyond Radio again, the podcast, very soon with a co-host, Vicki Lynn Burnett. And I've known her for, I want to say 17, 18 years, give or take. And she's a very well-known psychic medium down south. She's already doing a podcast, but she honored me with co-hosting the Greetings from Beyond Radio. I used to do this by myself, and I figured it'd be a lot easier because my schedule is going to be getting a lot busier with the show coming out and having to possibly go to conventions and stuff like that. She could take over when I'm not available.
No, is that the person you introduced me to via Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
And, well, you know how accurate she is, so
Yes.
there you go.
Yes. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately.
I got a question here myself because you said you've gone on a lot of investigations.
Yes.
Was any of those in abandoned Waffle House?
No. I'd know to run if it was an abandoned. There's something wrong if that Waffle House is abandoned. Okay.
No, hold up. We've got one. I promise you, every freaking weekend we would be up there, whatever. It had been shot up so many times. It is now boarded up, and there's not another one nearby.
Really?
So we're gonna have to call in about that, right? I need a certified
in the heart
paranormal
of
investigator to go in there.
It's in the heart of Jackson, Mississippi. So right off of right off of
They're
220.
open during hurricanes? Really?
More than
Mom used to
likely.
work at Waffle House.
I never even thought they'd be open.
Let me tell you, Waffle Houses are known for everything is gas grilled and gas stoves, so they could actually stay open if they have a generator. Yeah,
So I guess that means that they're if the apocalypse or the zombie apocalypse ever strikes, they're still going to be standing.
I more than likely, unless
Still
they
wouldn't
have
yet.
like I've always said, if you're gonna have a Waffle House to go to during a zombie apocalypse, you better put treadmills so that when the zombies try and get on there, they get on there, they walk and they fall off, walk and fall off.
Nick, I will give you one piece of advice for Waffle House. If
Uh-oh.
it is 200 degrees outside, still wear a jacket inside Waffle House.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
You
No,
don't think
I
they're freezing?
no.
Every
No
time I
offense,
walk
no
in one, I'm
offense, but nah, that's a Eileen thing. So no, that doesn't
okay,
apply.
well, there must be a Mississippi and everybody else I hang out with thing.
I'm telling you, Mississippi. I've driven through Mississippi before, and it was like I was in and out, kind of like the restaurant, the fast food chain, in and out. I was like, it's a spit of a state.
Did you see what Brad said? Eileen, if it's too cold, you're too old.
Oh,
Whoa!
oh.
And I'm saying, I've got another I want to say, but no.
I
See,
got
hold
nothing.
on. Look at Jen's comment.
Treadmills by the doors for
Nope,
zombies
down,
go to Waffle.
down.
Oh wait, it's cold here too at the Waffle House.
Boom. Boom.
Uh,
Jen, go hit him upside the head for me.
No.
I love Waffle House, but
No.
they're too damn small. I wonder if that's Donald still saying that. Felt that burn over here.
So,
oh, man.
out of all the places you investigate, what is your favorite type of location to do any type of paranormal app? What intrigues you?
Believe it or not, I thrive in residential investigations. I don't mind investigating known commercial locations that are to be haunted. But when you have people telling you where you can investigate and no, there's, no danger here whatsoever, a question mark pops up. And I start wondering, why are they even, floating that by you if there isn't? And there was a place that I did go to, and with Jen, we had an event there, and that's where she nearly got possessed. And another individual actually had a demonic entity attack him at the same time she was being attacked. So and I'm not going to name names, but there was a very well-known demonologist there at the time that actually challenged a demon the night before. Gee, I wonder how that shit happened.
Rich, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. My sweet, sweet niece just jumped on the podcast, Sophie. She's the one that just married my nephew.
Waffle Houses in Texas are cold too.
Sorry, Rich.
No worries.
Well, she had to say something about Waffle Houses in Texas.
They got Buc-ee's in Texas, okay? But anyway, go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's that was a very bad experience, but it was also, I believe, a learning experience for, the two individuals that went through this, and Jen happened to be the one that I actually had to help out, because someone that's been featured recently on a show on Netflix ran to her or basically was left in her care, and she ended up getting what she had. And wow, let's just say this is not someone I'd like to investigate with, because they can't handle their shit. So I've always been that kind of an individual that I don't care. You can tell me that you're the best and of the best when it comes to this, that, or whatnot. I'll always be the one saying, prove it,
So do you find that
because that just doesn't exist.
like the investigations like I would go do and a lot of us would go do are more boring to you because of all the stuff you deal with when you go on investigations, or just the average investigations kind of don't intrigue you as much, or is it more of a breather for you not to have to deal with such
My
heavy
my
stuff?
my calling and what I've become more impassioned for over the years is helping people. Um, in many ways, and I know it's going to sound controversial, but then again, so is this show because now it's called the Paranormal Waffle Show,
Yeah, the Waffle House
Waffle House
Paranormal Show.
Show. Uh, but
It's made a new banner.
I'll state this: what what I don't like as much is that many locations now are actually, in my opinion, they are exploiting spirits that are more than likely trapped there and can't leave just to be investigated by the living and making a profit off of it at the same time. And I actually feel guilty doing something like that when I've actually dealt with so many residential families that have real issues going on in their house and they don't want those things there at all. So I end up having to go in and help these people. And it's just not going in and helping for like 4 or 5 hours. My team is known for client care and we go on for months, years. I have clients that are still friends with me, that keep in touch with me and are very thankful that my team and I were able to help them. So I feel it's more personable when you go in to help a family than to go in for,
Yeah.
a carnival of let's see what moves and doesn't move. Let's see if we capture a voice or not, or something on photograph. To me, that's exploitation.
I was say, and that is one thing I don't like when you have to sign an agreement. Now I know crossing over is very controversial, so forget even that part. But just signing agreement that you won't try to cross something over, and you're wanting to have it there. That is, I mean, it's like, hold on, if so, I mean, sometimes you wonder what do people do to make them stay. Now, if they want to stay there, to me, my feelings are if they want to stay there, they're going to stay there, no matter
Right.
what.
Yeah.
But just to have people put that in a contract is kind of, and I get it, and because a lot of times they are trying to save like a historical location and things like that. But it is sad to think of it that way.
It's
And
like they're the innkeepers,
hmm
and they're manning
Totally agree.
the inmates. They're exploiting this, and I feel uncomfortable.
now, if
I
the
feel
spirits
like
want to be there, I mean, that's all fine and dandy. There are those locations. Spirits just don't want to leave it.
right.
Everyone's frozen.
Yes, agree. The thing is you
Luke's
have to think of
disappeared.
it this way. You have to think of it this way. If let's say a spirit tragically dies at a location like that, and they're trapped, they don't know
Mm-hmm.
they're dead. And this is one of the things that I've advised a lot
Yeah.
of investigators over the years not to do. They go in there and they say, "How did you die? Are you in pain?" Wait a minute, hold up, stop. Sometimes these spirits don't even
Yeah.
know they're dead.
Exactly.
And this
Like,
is
be
one of the things I
respectful.
picked up on 20 years ago because I remember we actually had to go in and help a team and they couldn't understand why the spirit wouldn't leave. And then I observed, my team and I observed what they were doing when they were attempting communication with the spirit. And they were saying, "How did you die?" And that's when the activity would start. And the family is like, "See, there it goes again." I'm like, "Well, okay." So I called the team outside, not to embarrass them in front of the
Yeah.
clients. And I said, "You do realize maybe the spirit doesn't know it's dead. And it's
Exactly.
acting up because you're telling it it's dead. So
And then it's
stop with
pissed.
that line of questioning and ask it, where are you now?" Or ask leading questions. What's your name? What year is it? Stuff like that versus, "Oh, by the way, did you know you're dead? And that's why we're
Yeah.
here." The best
I mean, I'll
example
be
I could
pissed if
give you, exactly. But the best film I can actually recommend for people to watch, and it's fictional, but it's a good one. And ironically, it has one of my favorite Aussie actresses in there, Nicole Kidman. It's called The Others.
The Others, yes.
I've seen
Now,
that, yeah.
if y'all know what The Others is about,
Yep,
then you know that the others, they're referring to the living.
that's
The
right.
problem is that Nicole Kidman and the kids are dead. They
Right.
think they're still alive, but they're dealing with the living, and they don't understand why there's people coming in and out of their house. And that again is the best example I can use as to, 101 paranormal haunting, investigations. Do not ever ask a spirit, how did you die? Does it still hurt? I heard you got shot in the head, and this spirit is like, what? I remember this happened in a jailhouse in Florida, and they were asking questions. How did it feel getting hung? I'm like, because they actually used to have a hanging tree right outside the courthourhouse.
How do
And I'm
you
here
feel?
thinking,
Think it would feel being hung?
Oh
yeah,
my
I don't want
God.
to, I don't want to know. And here they are asking these questions, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
they gone lost their damn mind.
They do.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well,
I can relate to that in some way because 10 years ago now, we went, and it wasn't even just for the person that asked these questions. First off, not only that, but secondly, she was also using the damn Ghost Radar app, which
Oh,
don't ever use those apps. We were at
oh God, don't
we
get me
were at
started on that,
yeah, we
please.
were at Bobby Mackey's. We did an investigation at Bobby
Oh my
Mackey's Music
God.
World, and even I knew back then that it was fake. Somebody was using it, and upon hearing that, she thought she was getting genuine answers. I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to walk up, take her phone, and just say, it's not real, right? You're not getting anything, and you don't ask questions like that.
and I want to touch on something Donald said up there.
What,
He
this?
said that no, up higher. They used to manage a funeral home and a jail. Now, one thing I will say about the Martins, and not because they are my friends, but
I like Ridge's face.
Great.
So speechless.
they truly did respect the spirits that were in these locations, and if a spirit didn't want to be there anymore, they were okay with it. Now, there was one spirit that after his death did come around a lot. I truly feel, and Donald feels too, and I'm sure Rebecca too, that Doyle Goss still visited there quite a bit because he loved the funeral home. But I mean, and they do. And Nita said here she doesn't like the locations that you have to pay to do them. I don't personally mind the locations you have to pay to do them because a lot of it goes back to renovations of those places or keeping a historical location up. Like Donald was saying, they did charge for the funeral home, but every bit of money that they got would help repair the roof leaks, would repair this, would repair that.
I
And they didn't
understand that.
pocket, they didn't pocket that money, but they kept it around. And just like Old Park Hotel, I mean, these people bought this location and they opened it up to the paranormal community. But in the same token, they're keeping a historical location alive. And so I don't mind that. It's when people overcharge for a location that bothers me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you go in there and these people could make their money and pay their bills and still have a cushion for any repairs that be made, saying by charging $300, $350 an event, whatever, that's one thing. But when you go in these places and they charge you thousands of dollars for one night or whatever, totally different. I mean, for a location that only needs X amount to keep the doors open.
Well,
Yeah.
not having ever owned a location like this, but I being involved in business, I can tell you this much: if it's a location, and it's, let's say, a big location like a hospital or an insane asylum or something like that, oftentimes, the owners need to take out liability
Insurance.
Yeah, liability insurances, indeed.
Exactly. And the thing is that a lot of times they have to tack that on to the price because you don't know who's coming in there. You have no idea what they're going to do. Sometimes they've left, graffiti, they've destroyed the area,
I
and they have
know.
to fix it. And that goes towards the insurance that will fix it. And of
Right.
course, I would hope they would never invite them back. But I mean, that's predominantly why the prices are so high nowadays, because they have discovered a lot of teams
Well,
that are wannabes. They
Yeah,
just
if
go in
you
there and
look
they
at a
just want to
place
have a good
like
old time.
I don't know if Jeremy's still on. I believe he is. If you look at a location like Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, those prices are extreme. To have one night is extremely expensive. It's like, Jeremy, correct me, wasn't it like $1,200 or so to like for a full night investigation? Of course, obviously, when you have a whole team, you could split it. But
now think of it, but on that aspect of it, that is a lot bigger of a location, so it does take more.
1,500 for
So it
Ohio.
does take
Wow.
more to keep it up. What I'm meaning more by there's a location that used to charge like $25 a person to come in and do it. Well, as soon as the location became kind of popular, it jumped up to $80 a person.
Right.
And I'm like, hold up, you don't need that to maintain. If you were able to maintain this location at 25, and it's locked down, it's not getting broke into and all that. You just can't. I mean, you're gouging people, and that kind of bothers me
Mm-hmm.
I
because
agree.
you're trying to work off the fame you have.
Right.
I
And
agree.
like we are like at the funeral home. I mean, now the funeral home has since been sold. It is going to be restored back to a working funeral home.
Oh, wow.
Oh, not. Jeez.
But and they still have the jail though. But it was like, if I'm not mistaken, Donald, it was like $350 a night. Let me tell you, when I say $350 for 24 hours, the Martins did it right. You got it for 24 hours. They were not one of those that come in, you got here at such and such time, you need to leave. Hey, we're not going to rush you out. Now, of course, you couldn't stay there 2 nights, but you also could sleep there.
Right.
Yeah, there used to be a really good location that I went to once. They did allow people to stay there, but then they actually it was sold over to another owner, and the stipulation, from what I understand from the county, was that since it was never built to house people in the sense of sleep, but instead it was to cure people, it was not zoned to allow people to stay the night. It was too dangerous. It was a liability. So they stopped allowing people to stay there. But you actually got more activity staying there and then getting
Yeah.
up and investigating, because
I'll never
it's
forget.
true.
And it was not David snoring. David was sleeping on the pew behind me. I was sleeping on the front pew. The way the cameras were facing, of course, Donald never went and looked at the cameras, I don't think. But I remember I heard a scream, like it sounded like the scream was in my face. And I jumped up and I looked. Okay, David didn't move, whatever. So I looked back behind. I could tell it was still dark outside. So I lay back down. What I didn't know is, like, seconds after I woke, as I was going down, it just took David a little while to catch that he heard the scream, and he sat up because he said he could see me kind of going back down to go back to sleep.
Right.
And of course, like I said, Donald never reviewed the evidence, I don't think, to see what we caught, because he's too lazy sometimes. But
just send it to David. He'll take care of it.
But yeah, they're just,
Good Lord.
there are so many that just price gouge. But I do believe in saving all these historicals, because the newer generations are not caring as much about these historical sites
Nope.
as we used to. And I'm so scared that a lot of them are going to be gone before we know it. Oh, they don't have to be quiet. You don't have to tell them to shush.
See,
We
that's
all
the thing.
got
No, just
family.
make as much noise as
Hey,
you
sweetie.
I'll bite you back, Facebook user.
Do what,
Hey,
sweetie?
cutie.
David. I was going, Donald, not David, Donald. Okay, so I gotta say, you know what you just brought up, Eileen. It's kind of funny to think about. It's like this new generation that doesn't seem to care about like a lot of these historical occasions. The funny part is, yes, I am part of that new generation, but I care though. So I can't be the only one. There's got to be at least a few from my generation that should be caring about these locations.
I would hope that the generation, I guess my generation,
Yes, I am, Jeremy.
would actually push to have the new ones coming up to have dignity and show respect to historical locations in every way possible. Be respectful of the spirits, be respectful of everything that you are doing while you are there, because the thing is nowadays people just want to exploit and exploit and exploit.
Yes,
that's why social media has desensitized really what this used to be. You have, what is it, Twitch nowadays, you have TikTok and you have these kids
Instagram.
and younger adults going in there. They're just trying to do it for the scare tactic. And after a while, you get to the point to where, why are we doing this anymore? Are we doing this just for thrill? This is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Rich is older than me. I think you're older than me, aren't you?
Oh, I will be 53 come November 17th.
Yes. So see, Brad, he is older than me. You don't have your glasses on. So he said there is no older investigator than Eileen. So just on this screen, someone is older than me. Thank you very much.
And Donald makes a good point here. He just wrote this. Because we will not be here forever. We will be the ones they are taken to after we are gone. And that... I'm sorry, I just looked at Brett's comment.
Pretty much.
You were born in 1772.
Take your glasses off, Brett. You don't need to read all that.
Wow, you're a Confederate survivor. I mean, Revolutionary War survivor. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I do. I take my son to the older cemeteries. I take, trying to, show him around, trying to make sure he doesn't forget how, the people of the past, the places of the past, that there is history that has gotten us to where we are today.
And let's not forget, there's always going to be individuals out there that it doesn't even matter their upbringing or age or anything. They just want to do it for the shock value. They want the ratings, they want the likes, they want the hearts, they want all that garbage. And that's really what the paranormal field is being met with these days. And it's an uphill battle, constantly an uphill battle. So that being said, with these individuals that don't really respect what we do, unfortunately, that's what we're up against.
Well, you've even got people out there that, okay, for instance, you hear people all the time say something about making money in the paranormal. First of all, it costs 90% of us a heck of a lot more money than we'd ever even think about making. But I mean, I've never, all my years of investigating, I think I've made a total of $250. That's it.
That's more than I have made. So yeah, that's pretty good.
I didn't even care about it, and then I was gonna turn it down, but it became a principal thing at that point. Because it wasn't about that. It was not about the money. And the whole thing is, though, is the people who make the money in the paranormal. And the first time I took one penny, I could never talk about anybody making a dime in the paranormal.
There are just like, because believe it or not, I think we all know people who want to do that. And I know a few personally that just And you know what? On a more serious note, Brad said just wrote what I was about to say. It should never be about the money. It's just like,
No.
I don't know, because it's, I've actually came across some people a few years ago who said that they were having problems in their house, and they came across one of these paranormal teams, and they first called in the first one, and they tried their best to, help out whatever was going on in the situation. But unfortunately, there was just not really much that they could do despite their best efforts. So they decided to call another team, to see if they could if they had anything that the first team didn't have. And they said, well, we already had they might say something like, well, some of the stuff you guys are going to be doing, we've already done this with a previous team that was there. And a lot of them were like, and whatever this team was, they're like, we don't care about that. If we help you out, we'll help you out. But if it fails, with us too, who's going to pay us? And their response was, and at that point, Sheila was like, well, tell you what, let me call you back. Because she was not going to put up with that kind of questioning like that she had to pay for it.
Yeah, I've had people say, well, how much are you going to charge? I'm like, I don't charge anything to come investigate your location. The one time I got paid, it was an event. And like I said, I wasn't even going to take it, but it was a moral thing, because if I didn't take it, that person just got more. But I've had people say, hey, how much are you going to charge me? The last team wanted to charge me X amount of dollars. And I'm like, honey, if anybody ever tries to charge you, definitely don't go with them.
I've never
always
charged
told-
for any of my investigations or
You're not
Same
residential.
with us. We
You're
not
never
doing it to help.
charge.
If you're
In
doing
fact, I had this coming weekend for the consultation I'm doing. I remember she asked, how much do you charge? And I had to respond with, we never charge, because the thing is we're putting, people will often say you should charge if you're a demonologist, because you're putting your life on the line there. You don't know what you're up against. You don't know if it's one, you don't know if it's 10, you don't know if it's a legion of them, and they can kill. And I've always said, I just can't. I've never charged even before I started working with Bishop James Long, and I never will. It's just a matter of principle. And I know there are people out there that say you should charge. You have a family, this and that. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. It's I have to live with that. It's my
the
conscience.
only thing I
have to
think
live
I
with.
ever would accept, if I had to drive long distance and someone says, I'll pay for you a hotel room. That would probably, and I've never had that happen. And I thought hard about it, because but I'm like, if someone ever wanted to pay for me a hotel room, would I take it? And I might do that if I had to drive long distance. But, and that's just because, whatever. But I still have never had to come across that to know if I truly will. But a lot of times I think, like, I have this one that I was working on, but it was close to one of my model apartments. And I was like, I could just stay in one of my models, because I'm never going to stay in someone's house, because, again, unless I truly know them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to remember, these are still complete strangers. You still can't stay in somebody's house. But also, too, see, it's also one other fact to kind of bring up, too, is that it's also, when it comes to this whole money situation, because, see, for me, I've only ever been on relatively few residential investigations. Not that I'm not interested. It's just that I've had very few chances. But the last time that I went to a residential investigation, which was about 5 years ago, after the entire investigation was over, and we also, like I said, we also had a ritual that was performed. The people tried, the family tried giving us money. I think they must have given us, like, I don't know, $20, $50, somewhere around there. I can't remember. But we told them, no, you don't need to pay us. But they just kept pushing. They would not. So, it's one thing even if we refuse it, that they're willing to pay for you. But it's a different story, though. You're asking, well, we'll only help you if you pay us first.
If you
It's a
want to buy
different story.
lunch or dinner, have pizza delivered or something, hey, whatever. If you just want to do it up for
You
being
bought a chicken
kind,
and a cat. No.
I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even take them to the Waffle House.
Micah.
Yeah, we gotta get you a waffle maker.
Yeah, next time any of us get a residential, we'll just, if it's from a far area, just tell them to pay for us for a Waffle House.
I agree.
I'm
I
still
agree.
waiting on Rich for
Free
a
waffles.
plane ticket to get up there to see you.
I'll tell you this much. I mean, if I don't know if Asylum 49 is even being offered up as an investigative spot anymore,
Gift
but
card.
I know they've gone up in price. But let me tell you, that place is actually gone up in price, but it's full of activity. And that was one of the events that that Jen and I had there, and that was a doozy.
Now, where is that?
Asylum 49 is in Tooele, Utah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're definitely
And-
on a plane ticket, sweetie. I will charge you.
No, charge them with that and then the additional Waffle House.
A waffle.
Is there a Waffle House around here? She said yes.
The Waffle House gift card.
Hang on.
Hey, there was actually
Yes, there is. And it's amazing, but bring a jacket.
There actually was a question here earlier I was going to show. I think Bob was the one who asked this because, it was almost well over 20 minutes ago. I wanted to get back
Sorry,
to this.
Bob. We get on our tangents.
He asked earlier, Rich, do you think evil is escalating in the world at the moment? It sure seems that way.
Yes, I agree. I think, especially in this country, I mean, the tension has actually gone up by 100%. It's all due to the way we're treating each other over really individuals that don't give a shit about us. To be honest with you, that's my opinion. We're being used, and instead of helping each other, we are bringing each other down, and this needs to stop. It's not helping the situation. And now that I every time, that's why I've been removing so many people from my friends list. A, I don't know them. B, I go onto their page first, and all I see is like hate speech after hate speech after hate speech.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're done. I get rid of them. A, I don't know who the hell they are and how they got onto my friends page. And B, I don't need that type of negativity in my life. I got enough having to do what I got to do, and that's dealing with demonic forces. I'm sorry, I don't need some guy or woman that's willing to be a demonic force in their own right and be negative.
So which way do you think it's coming from? Do you think we're feeding more into it because of what's all going on in society?
Hold on, I need my glasses for this one.
Chicken and waffle.
It's a waffle.
Chicken waffle.
That is a waffle.
It's chicken and waffles.
There you go.
But do you think we're feeding it or do you think it's feeding us?
I think it's both. Negative energy that's out. Okay,
Right.
The one thing I will say is this. The one feeling, the one emotion that evil invokes or demonic entities invoke the most in people is fear. And fear incites, hatred. Because what do you do when you're in fear of something? It's either fight or flight. So it's creating people to fight amongst themselves over the stupidest shit, over individuals that really don't care about it. And I'm being very, very vague, but I think people know where I'm going with this, and it needs to stop. Just take care of yourself. Don't worry about other people and what they do in their lives. If it's not affecting you, why should you even give a shit?
But you affect
Leave
me
it
all
alone.
the time.
Huh?
You affect me all the time.
Well, because it's fun.
I will say, Rich is definitely the person who speaks his mind, and he has the I don't give an F attitude.
Mhm.
So if anyone is ever going to follow one of Rich or watch his page,
Brad.
you better not be one that worries about being, getting your butt hurt, because he doesn't care. He doesn't want to hurt you, but
I'll
if it
speak the
does,
truth.
he's going to speak his mind.
Well, someone that knows me as well as you do, Eileen, is
Yeah.
Bob Burnell, and Bob. Let me tell you, you see my posts. They're predominantly, I'd say, 96% positive or funny,
Mm-hmm.
and I stay away from the negativity. I don't want to deal with it. I don't need it in my life, so why throw it in there?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Brad said, Eileen, that's a different. That's a different show.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna go there.
True statement. I don't know who the. Okay, so I know some of these comments are coming from Donald, but it looks like there's
Bruce, that's
somebody.
all Donald. It's all Donald. And when he said, "Hey, Rich," he was
Oh,
talking
he's like,
about.
"What's up, Rich?" I thought it was somebody else who was on
He was talking
Facebook.
about another. He was talking about another Rich.
Okay. Rooting on the soldiers in this
Who the
invisible
earth would eat
war.
waffles with?
I think everybody's really enjoying having you on, Rich.
Yeah, we've been getting quite the viewers tonight. We've had the highest I've seen is well over 14 viewers.
Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah.
Don't be.
I am. One thing, and Jen could testify to this. I'm humble pie when it comes to
No,
any
you're
kind of
not getting what
attention.
I'm saying. It's not you that they care about. It's the pretty girl with you.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, they want you. So
Okay. I'm
I told
cooking. I'm
I thought
cooking.
it was
See.
a pretty girl everybody wanted to
Is she
see, not
coming?
Rich.
I'll be outside on the smoke.
Oh, you're gonna go.
Cooking
Okay.
waffles?
Donald here says if Eileen would leave, you get more. What do you got to say about that, Eileen?
No, I know where he lives, but
Oh, you in trouble?
You're in trouble, Eileen.
for anyone who doesn't know, this is Rich's better half. This is Jen.
That is true. I am the better half.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, that's who I keep referring to.
Yeah, it's me.
Did he really leave you?
Yes, he walked that way.
Is he coming back?
Maybe, I don't know. I think he's jealous. He's jealous.
Now,
Because
You-
all the viewers.
Jen does modeling.
Yes.
He felt the power compel him. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe he had to pee. Maybe he had to pee.
Oh, that would be
Okay.
quite the interview. No, I would be the one at the door. Excuse me, are you done? Are you pooping?
As long as he doesn't smell like Donald when he does it.
Spray when you're done. Spray when you're done. I bought the spray for a reason.
Get that poopery.
Yeah, I have some. My brother and my sister-in-law actually got him some for Christmas. It was like a year ago.
Yeah, I got four males in this house, so poopery went very,
Yeah.
Best spray to use to get rid of that smell. Of course, it's
Right.
one good thing. Gorilla Glue. And there's a
really
spray.
know it would keep it in there.
Yeah, you use Gorilla Glue. You stick it on the wall.
Oh my God.
That'll forever be contained.
Yeah, exactly. No, baby girl.
Right.
Want to say hi?
Hi, sweetie.
Say hi.
kitty.
She's going, Mom, who are you talking to?
I'll be back picking up my Waffle House order.
I know. Well, I have to go to Australia first, and then I'll be back.
Nikki will be waiting because she lives down in Australia.
Yes, it needs to happen.
Nikki's never even had a waffle.
What? No.
It's the truth. Tell her, Nikki.
Never had one in my life.
I'm bringing waffles. I got you.
All right. I'll see you 48 hours and 25 minutes.
Yes. Yes, it needs to happen. It's gonna happen. And then I'm building a waffle house. Right by your house.
Sounds great. And we'll put it on Facebook, me eating a waffle.
Yes. It needs to happen.
Buffalo chicken.
Nick, I gotta ask, by the way, what time is it over there right now in Australia?
11:03 a.m.
Ah, that's a good time to have a. Jen, you could be on your way and you can give her a waffle right before the afternoon strikes in Australia.
Yeah. I can get this done. I can get this done. It just needs to be a little bitty waffle house. That's all you need.
All right, tell
They
Rich to
are.
buy both of our
They're
plane
like a
tickets.
little shack.
Yes. I'm putting out a campaign now. Jen, Australia, Waffle House.
And then you got to start going to the other countries and start spreading Waffle House. You gotta make it a
Wait,
worldwide chain like McDonald's, Burger King, or if Denny's is on. I don't
I'm
think
gonna-
Denny's is.
I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy.
You're forgetting to add me to this world trip. I thought this could be a
Let's
world
go.
tour.
Let's
You didn't
go.
ask. You didn't
Right,
ask.
Let's go.
We just need Rich to buy the tickets, and we're good.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the supplies, and pay for the land. And okay, we
Yeah.
need Rich to fund us a lot.
What
Yes.
would the Aussie version of chicken be on the waffle?
I think Nikki's got a question. It's got, how big are the spiders down there?
Oh my God! Yes.
You know, I was going to ask that same question. When I heard Australia, I was like, well,
They're not that big. I mean, you know, it's not like they're the size of a kangaroo or anything, you know. Redback spider. 1 minute.
Jill, you didn't ask if you wanted to go.
we can all go. Let's go. We're going to
Yeah, take-
campaign. We're going to put out a fundraiser for Waffle
Oh my
House, and
God.
we're going to do this.
Wait, show that again because you kind of froze on your side.
She's not leaving, baby. Calm down. No. It's not, no.
Sorry.
Take your time. Holy cow! That is big.
No. Those are not allowed in the Waffle House.
They'll freeze. They'll freeze to death.
Bug spray.
God.
Rich said Waffle House is not cold
Yeah,
on
that's
the
a bit-
inside, by the way, Jen.
Redback.
Oh
That's
my
scary.
God, Brad. Okay, I have to ask this question because Brad's asked this too, Nikki. How big are the cockroaches down there? Are they really that big?
Go for it. Oh my look. Hang
Oh
on.
no.
On.
Oh no.
I'll Google.
Who's gonna show up
Okay.
that shirt? No.
Before we
We
go
got
down,
flying
we need to
cockroaches.
invest in some industrial style bug spray, like stat.
Yeah, I agree.
product of the Waffle House.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. You get a bug spray when you come in.
Hanging on
Where are
the
they
zoom
fly
in.
here?
That's spider and waffles.
We got the
I
flying
know.
cockroaches
Oh
here.
God, no! Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Look
No.
how cute it is.
No,
Look at that
No.
little bed.
no.
I used to raise
Oh,
those,
he had
what they
shit.
call, are they called the doobies or Dubai, whatever, roaches? I used to breed those with the lizards.
Nikki, do they fly too?
The big one is American cockroach.
Okay,
Ah.
Hang on,
That-
where are we?
is it the wood? Is it like the wood roach here?
Oh no! No, we're already talking about
Yes.
roaches.
They grow from about
Complimentary
fingernail
bug
to your
spray at the Waffle
thumbnail.
House.
Oh.
And maybe a fly swatter so you can really get them.
That is spiders because they'll carry their young on the back and take off.
Now they're talking about cockroaches and spiders at the Waffle House. We needed a zapper.
Oh my God! You know what you need?
That
Jeff,
is.
you know what you,
Sorry.
for those bigger cockroaches, you know what you need is. Oh my
Oh,
God!
look
No!
at smiling.
They actually do fly.
Look, he's
Oh,
smiling.
No, 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 no.
Oh, God, Jen, I was gonna. Oh God.
A woman. Apparently,
Are you sure you wanted to be a part of this conversation, Jim?
apparently, a woman in the US apparently a flying cockroach into Florida,
What's that?
and she didn't know that she had it in there for 6 months. Apparently, a
Wait.
woman in Florida had a flying cockroach in her ear, and she didn't know for 6 months.
I don't know. I couldn't see that.
I think I would know.
Brad's like, so instead of
I mean-
gorilla glue, you could send kangaroo glue.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I know those
Hang on.
Floridians are crazy. Rich. They're crazy, but
Yeah, it sounds like the movie The
you
Mist.
picked him. You picked him.
To make sure they weren't big, so he was.
I made a mini him.
Oh my God!
Send help.
Where the hell did Rich go?
You can tell him he can get back on if he's ready, so he can tell people how to find him and what all he's got going. Oh, he's eating. He said, y'all talking
He
Waffle
must
House.
be-
I'm eating.
He's trying to make his own version of like waffles from the Waffle House.
Yeah, yeah. You want to join in on the spider and the cockroach conversation? I need to buy some industrial spray and a zapper stat.
Oh no! You know what I was gonna, Jen, you know what I was gonna say was I forgot it briefly. For the big roaches, you're gonna
Sorry.
need more than just a bug zapper. You're probably gonna need one of those big cattle prods.
I'm gonna be running around everywhere. I'm gonna be prepared. I got this.
Oh, Jen, you can get Brad. Look at Brad's comment.
Blink twice if you are afraid of her cooking, Rich. Wow.
I felt that burn, and I'm over here.
Nice. I got
about you,
nothing.
woman.
I got nothing.
He was talking about you, woman.
Oh my god, he made spaghetti. See, he made the spaghetti.
People actually
Yeah,
Stay.
he does good. He does
Stay.
good. Oh, he's training the dog now.
Stay.
Where's the
But
dog?
you have him
Conversation's
trained.
gone
That's
all
professional.
completely different.
Oh,
directions.
he's well trained.
Okay, good.
He's well, yeah.
He
Rich?
can stay. He can sit.
Rich, sit, stay,
Back.
stay. Good boy.
Sleep.
I know. I
boy.
said no biting.
Stay.
No scratching either.
I know.
Come.
See, that's the hard one when you tell him, stay, stay, come. And he goes, I'm like, really?
Mine like is so excited when the come part. He hates to stay, but as soon as they do come, he's like,
No.
Oh,
And
you
then I
got
get-
Eileen's first car on your wall.
he's talking about the broomstick.
The broom. Oh,
It's
God,
right up
do
there.
I dare even ask? Do I dare even ask?
No.
Holy.
Okay. Here he is.
It was good talking to you, Jen.
Good talking to you.
Mwah.
Oh, damn. All right, Rich. So where can they find
Nick,
you
the
at?
biggest cockroach is still back to land.
I figured, I'd contribute and, give this little one
Sorry.
her spaghetti.
Hey, sweetie.
Holy shit, this cockroach is huge. Oh my god.
So, Rich,
Still
if
looking
you
at roaches.
and if people wanted to find out more about you, where would they find you?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of like not accepting any friend requests right now, but if people want to PM me on my personal page on Facebook, they can reach out to me there. And it's a personal reason as to why I've chosen to start removing people I really don't know. And it's once this show hits the air, I don't want to deal with the drama, and especially from people I have no idea who they are. So it's never like it's never been a numbers game for me. You know, I know people that have 1,000, 2,000, 3, 4,000. Jen, who was just on, she's right up there, but it's because she's a model.
Brad.
She's a model. She's pretty, and I get it, but I'm fugly, and you know, basically, the only reason I started thinking to myself, who the hell really has over 848 friends, which is where I was at. That was the highest I was ever at. I was like, I got to start eliminating a lot of people that I don't know, because once the show hits, I'm just going to be setting up a fan page. And if people want to keep in touch with me, they can do so there. So, but for the time being, if people want to ask me questions or want me on a show or something like that, word of mouth or PM me.
Rich, Brad actually was asking, is that why you removed Eileen?
Who?
Eileen, is that why you removed Eileen?
If I didn't know them, they never spoke to me, then you know what I actually do? I have a process. I actually go, it comes up as a friend's birthday. And I'm like, who? And then I check for PMs and there's nothing there. I'm like, so why is this person even on here? And I've even noticed that I don't even recognize them, don't know who the fuck they are. I'm like, bye. I mean, if I was a non-point to begin with, why continue being a non-point? You know, I'll just, you know, remove the individual. Nothing personal. It's just the way it is.
See,
But
when he gets my PMs, he's like, "Ah."
well, you know,
That's the first time I've ever heard you swear, Eileen. I'm telling
I
you.
didn't
Eileen,
say it. I never said it.
I wouldn't mind being stuck with Eileen and having to share my PBJ with her.
Well, here's the thing. Jeremy said that he sent you a friend request, and so did I.
But don't. What about your team page? Do you have a team
You
page?
can join
Paranormal Consulting Agency.com or dot is it .com? Yeah, I think it's .com.
.com.
Because nowadays people use .net or whatever.
.com is still a thing.
Yeah, paranormal, also the paranormal clergy. There's a fan page there where people can follow us, but there's a private page that's only reserved for members, team members that work with us. And that's how we operate. But that one is a closed page. There's another one that is a fan page.
And when you start this podcast, where is it going to be found at?
You can find that right now. It's that's at Greetings from Beyond Radio, and just go there, like it, and as soon as we start broadcasting, it's going to be broadcast through there, and it's going to be broadcast through YouTube and on another page that's going to be the one that's going to be producing the show. That will.
Jeremy said he's going to message you because he'd like to add you to the database he's building for the Things family. He is looking for a legit trained exorcist and demonologist, so that if people who are looking for help and are not aware of you, they could find your name on that list.
By all means.
So, all right. Well, I don't really have anything else to ask. So, we have. Here, I'm going back to the comments right now because I know Jeremy did mention about who we're supposed to have on for next week. It was Eileen. Do you remember who it was? Or
Wicked. Hold on.
Like the Wicked Sisters, I think.
Ghost Sisters?
Scrolling.
Yeah, see, I'm doing the same thing
not
too. I'm
them.
trying to look for it.
New York?
Oh, wait, found it. Here it is. All right, next week you got the Wicked
I found it
Sisters
too.
that are going to be. Yeah, looks like we found it exactly. Yep. All right, and Jeremy just wrote it again. Thanks, Jeremy. So, yeah. So I guess we'll There'll be another good show, and I guess we'll see you guys next week. Let me just find. I'm just trying to get to the outro right now.
I want to tell you what Brad just said, Rich. Since you don't have your glasses
Oh wait,
on.
what did he? Wait, let me see
Where
what
were
he
you
said.
when I married my ex, Rich? Could have used a demonologist.
Everything's going on with this.
Oh,
Rich,
Lord.
if you hear more from Brad, you're going to be hearing a lot of stories about his ex.
Oh Lord. Okay.
He's going to use a demonologist with that.
Of that genre.
I just love Jeremy's responses.
Jeremy.
Well, Rich, I really
Uh,
appreciate you being on.
Yeah,
You know,
Rich,
I love you,
thanks for
brother.
coming on.
Love you too, hon. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, everyone.
Nice
I
meeting you.
We'll
appreciate it.
definitely, and we'll have you back on again real soon. But yeah, Jeremy, we'll be talking to you. Let me just get the outro ready. Hey, by the way, actually, I have a new outro. That new Waffle House outro would actually be pretty good.
Rich started a whole new thing with Waffle House.
See, you see what I got started? It's hashtag Waffle
Yeah,
House
yeah.
paranormal Waffle House.
There you go.
Hashtag paranormal Waffle House.
Love
Put
you
that
guys.
on, and you're good to go.
We're gonna have to
You know what's
do
going
an
to happen now?
episode.
Someone's going to open a Waffle House.
Yep. And we need to get one down under real quick.
Yes. Rich said shit over. We'll take care of it, like she said.
Funding
Yep.
coming soon.
All
By
right.
Rich Valdes.
You guys all have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week.
Blah, blah, blah.